بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance and assistance, we start a new series on what we call al-qawa'id al-fiqhiyya, jurisprudential rules or maxims. And inshallah, I hope this would help us better understand fiqh and better appreciate what our maraja offer, and better inshallah apply the rules. You know, sometimes we just have one particular mas'ala, one particular issue in fiqh. For example, whether something is tahir or najis, whether something is obligatory or not, whether something is haram or not. So there are many issues that we have that fiqh has to address. There is no voluntary action unless fiqh has something about it, because everything that we do it freely is in need of guidance. Shall I do it or I shouldn't do it? Everything can be either wajib or mustahab or mubah or makruh or haram. Yeah, we have 5 types of rulings. We call them al-ahkam al-khamsa. So there is no action unless it is one of these 5. So we have to know. So fiqh covers all our actions. In addition to the actions, there are situations that also have rulings. For example, if something is tahir or najis, it's not about my obligation directly. It's not, you cannot say this is wajib or haram. But if it is tahir or najis, then it would bring out some duties, some responsibilities. Or zawjiyat, if 2 people are married or not married, marriage, zawjiyah, by itself is not something that I or you should do or should not do. But it brings rulings. 2 people who are married, they have certain responsibilities towards each other. And if they are not married, for example, they cannot look at each other, for example, as married couple, and so on and so forth. Or, for example, milkiya, ownership. Milkiya is something which is not directly about wajib and haram, but it brings out some ahkam. Inshallah, you will learn these things inshallah more in future. These are called al-ahkam al-wad'iyya, in contrast to al-ahkam al-taklifiyya. Those 5, wujub, hurma, istihbab, karaha, wujub, istihbab, ibaha, karaha, and hurma, those 5 are ahkam al-taklifi. They are obligational. But zawjiyya, tahara, milkiyya, these are ahkam al-waz'i. So there is nothing about our life unless fiqh has some guidance about it. But how does a faqih come to identify the guidance that we need for these issues? Sometimes the faqih has to go to the sources, whether it's Quran or Sunnah or Ijma or Aql, and then with the help of usulul fiqh, principles of jurisprudence, he would identify our responsibility. For example, there is hadith that says you must do, for example, Salatul Jum'ah, or you must not do Salatul Jum'ah. Anyway, depending on the condition of ghaiba or adamul ghaiba. Faqih has to establish authenticity of this hadith. Faqih has to establish what is the dalala of this hadith, has to establish whether there are conflicting hadiths or not. He has to consider many, many things. Sometimes it may take faqih tens of hours just for one mas'ala to be able to have a comprehensive examination. Part of what a faqih does is related to that particular mas'ala. The hadith or the ayah or the ijma or the ruling of aql about that mas'ala. Part of it is general. It's general. For example, can we accept khabar wahid? What does it mean? If a just person narrates something from imam, can we accept? Or if a just person narrates from a just person from imam, or there can be 10, 20 people in between. If there is one person only, not two people, not tawatur, which means many, many people, just khabar wahid means not enough to make us certain, but it's a reliable person. Is it reliable for us, this hadith, or not? So this is something that we have to establish as a general rule. If we establish this, it helps us in many places. If we don't accept, it changes our view in many places. These are the things that we have to learn in usulul fiqh. Or for example, is zahirul kitab hujjah or not? When we look at the Quran, in the Quran there are about 500 verses which relate to fiqh. These are called ayatul ahkam. So about 1/12 of the Quran is about fiqh. 1/12. Okay? So most of them are not nas, they are zahir, means they are not 100% clear, in the sense that they have only one possible interpretation, one possible way of understanding. It is zahir. Zahir means they have a meaning which normally people understand, but there is a little possibility that they may mean something else. Okay? For example, when we say do, or in Arabic when we use command, if there is no other evidence, it means wujub, obligation. But sometimes it can mean istihbab. For example, اغتسل. اغتسل, if it is in hadith, اغتسل. Or in Quran, فاغسلوا. This is sigatul amr. Is sigatul amr always meaning wujub? No. But it is zahirun fil wujub, means that its most common usage is for obligation. But sometimes it can be for istihbab. Sometimes even can be for ibaha. There are sometimes, that, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to people that in the months of Ramadan, if there is a married couple, initially there was a time that they couldn't have marital relation even during the night. Then this was abrogated. Allah says, Al-ana bashiruhunna. Does it mean that it becomes wajib now? It was haram, now it has become wajib to have marital relation in the months of Ramadan? No. This is just to abrogate hurma. Sometimes amr aqib al-hadr means just permission. Like for example, doctor tells you not to eat this food because you are ill. Next time he says eat. It doesn't mean that you must eat. It means that that ban is over. In any case, there are things that can have one apparent meaning, but they can be also sometimes used for other meanings. Is this zahir hujjah or not? So this is what we establish in usulul fiqh. So faqih sometimes has general rules that he needs to use them so that then it comes to the specific reasons, evidence for that particular issue. So faqih operates on two levels. One is to establish those general guidelines, and second is to now apply them to this particular case. Okay? We have something in between those general rules that we learn in usul al-fiqh and those things that are about a particular mas'ala. And these are called al-qawa'id al-fiqhiyya. These are jurisprudential rules or maxims that they are general but not as general as qawa'id usuli, the rules of usul al-fiqh. You can use them for different masail. You can use them in different even sections of fiqh. And a very important difference is that this qawa'id fiqhiyya can also be used by muqallid. Qawa'id usuli can only be used by mujtahid. But qawa'id fiqhiyya can be used also by muqallid. Inshallah we will say. For example, the first rule that we are going to study is qa'idatul tahara. Qa'idatul tahara can be used by mujtahid, can be used by muqallid. Or qa'idatul faragh, qa'idatul tajawuz, qa'idatul asalat al-sihha, qa'idatul suq al-muslimin. So these are the things that muqallidin also can use when they are in doubt about their duty. So what we thought was, alhamdulillah, you are familiar with ahkam. Now, if we can have a course on qawa'id fiqhiyya so that it would strengthen your understanding of fiqh. If inshallah we have tawfiq in future, then we can have also usul al-fiqh. But I thought maybe now this is more understandable and more beneficial for the time being. Let's start with qa'idatul tahara, and I am sure you are already somehow familiar with this. We are inshallah going to have at least one qa'idah in every session. So at least we will inshallah study 10 qa'idah, but maybe if we have tawfiq we can do inshallah more. Qa'idatul tahara, the rule of purity. Of course, tahara means ritual purity. Is very famous among our ulama, and there seems to be no disagreement in principle. Some details, inshallah, we will discuss that might be different. For example, whether it can be applied to shubha hukmiyya or not, inshallah, we will talk about it. But in general, there is no disagreement about this rule, and all our ulama accept this. What is this rule? This rule says that everything that you don't know it's tahir or not tahir, it's tahir or najis, you can assume that it is tahir unless it is proved to be najis. كل شيء لك طاهر حتى تعلم أنه نجس. So if there is water here, I don't know this water is tahir or najis, I can assume it is tahir. Even if I don't know the previous condition, I can assume it is tahir. But if you knew that it was najis, that's different. You cannot say, inshallah, it is now tahir. If you knew it was najis, you have to assume that it is the same. They call it istishab. But that is about usul al-fiqh. But right now, as qawaid fiqhiyya, we have qa'idat al-tahara. Is this, for example, there is blood, but is this blood of a human being? Or, for example, something which is like, a sheep, a goat, a cow, which is najis? Or is blood of fish or a mosquito? So you don't know. You say, inshallah, it's tahir. Kullu shay'in laka tahir. Because you don't know it is from najis type of blood. So anything that you don't know, not you don't know because you have not learned mas'ala. For example, you know it is sharab, but then you say, I don't know sharab is najis or not. Or I know it is blood of human being. I don't know. No. It's not that you don't know mas'ala. You know mas'ala, but you don't know the condition. Or for faqih, if after investigation of the references finds no evidence to say something is najis, faqih also can use it to say we assume it is tahir. But this would not be for us. For us would be in shubahat mawzu'iyah, in instances. Inshallah we will talk about it. There are some hadiths that ulama refer to, and these hadiths, some of them are general, some of them are about particular cases. The first hadith, which is very famous and it is general, is Muwaththaqatu Ammar. This a hadith which is muwathaqa. In Ilm al-Diraya, we study different types of hadith. One is muwathaqa, means the person or one of at least people is not adil imami, but it's reliable. It's a non-imami who is also verified. So we can use that. In any case, in this hadith, which is from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, Imam said, كل شيء نظيف حتى تعلم أنه قذر. This is in Wasa'il al-Shia. Everything is clean, is tahir, حتى تعلم, till you know that it is not clean, it's unclean, قذر. فإذا علمت فقد قذر. When you know that it is najis, it is najis. So as long as you don't know, it is clean. وَمَا لَمْ تَعْلَمْ فَلَيْسَ عَلَيْكَ شَيْءٌ. If you don't know it is najis, there is no problem, there is no responsibility for you. So you don't need to do ihtiyat, you don't need to assume it is najis. Then another hadith is from Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And this is about a particular case, about urine. Ma ubali abawlun asabani aw ma'un idha lam a'lam. If I don't know whether this is water, for example, you have gone to washroom, you come out, you see your dress is wet. You don't know. So you don't need to wash and say, maybe it was najis, maybe it was urine. No, maybe it was water. Amir al-Mu'minin, according to this hadith, says, Ma obali, I don't care whether it was urine or water. Ma idha lam a'lam, if I don't know. So, because they didn't want us to have difficult life, to become waswasi, keep all the time washing and then feeling that still we are najis. Okay? So, if you don't know, you assume it is water. Another case is about a person who says, Sa'altuhu anil fa'rati wad-dajajati wal-hamami wa ashbahaha tata'ul adharah thumma tata'ul thawb. Sometimes an animal like a rat or a chicken or pigeon, maybe they put their feet on something najis. Then they put the same feet on our dress. So it was on a najis, then they put on our dress. Ayughsal. Do we need to wash this dress? Imam says, In kana stabana min atharihi, in kana stabana min atharihi shay'un. If after this animal puts the feet, you see something on the dress, faghsilhu, you have to wash it. Because now you cannot say, I don't know. Wa illa, but if you don't see anything, fala ba'as, there is no problem. Maybe it was removed by the time that that animal put its feet on the dress. You are not sure that it has made your dress najis. Another hadith. This hadith is a very beneficial also for, maybe it happens sometimes. Ammar ibn Musa as-Sabati, he says, I asked Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, an rajulin yajidu fi ina'ihi fa'rah. A person, in the past, they didn't have pipelines, for water. So they had sometimes a container which was maybe a big, pot or something. They used to have it for their drinking, for making wuzu, for using for bath or whatever. So he says, a person finds in his container a mouse. وَقَدْ تَوَضَّعَ مِنْ ذَلِكَ الْإِنَاءِ مِرَارًا, and he has made wuzu from this. أَوْ اغْتَسَلَ مِنْ, or he has used this water, so it is ma'i qalil, and dead mouth is there, so it's najis, but he had already made it for wuzu, for qus, or qasala thiyabahu, he has washed his dress with this. وَقَدْ كَانَتِ الْفَأْرَةِ مُتَسَلِّخَةً, and the mouse is now spoiled. It's not, just something which is just has died. So the chance of this being there for some time and he didn't know, and just for example, now he has found it, is a lot, because the mouse is now spoiled, is damaged. Imam alayhi salam said, according to this hadith, In kana ra'aha fil ina, if he had seen it before making wuzu or ghusl or washing, he had seen but he had forgotten. فَعَلَيْهِ أَنْ يَغْسِلَ ثِيَابَهُ وَيَغْسِلَ كُلَّ مَا أَصَابَهُ ذَلِكَ الْمَاءِ. He has to wash again his dress. He has to wash everything that water has touched. He has to repeat his wuzu. He has to repeat his salat. But وَإِنْ كَانَ إِنَّمَا رَآهَا بَعْدَ مَا فَرَغَ, but if he has seen this mouse after he has done all those things, and there is a possibility that maybe it has just been put into this, even if it is spoiled, maybe someone put it in this, dropped it in this. You are not 100% sure that it was inside this water when you were using this. So إن كان إنما رآها بعدما فرغ من ذلك. If after he completed those actions, he just saw it. So what happens? فلا يمس من ذلك الماء شيئا. Now he cannot touch this water. But ليس عليه شيء. He doesn't need to repeat his wuzu. He doesn't need to wash this dress again. لأنه لا يعلم متى سقطت فيه. Because he doesn't know when this mouth was put there. لعله أن يكون إنما سقطت فيه تلك الساعة التي رأى. Maybe it had just been thrown into it or dropped into it. So this is not about all cases. It's about water and a dead mouse. But from this particular hadith, we can get the idea. The first hadith, Muwassaqiyya Ammar, was general. But these are hadiths about particular cases. But having them supports what we can understand from the first hadith as a general rule. In addition to this hadith, also there is istishab. Of course, if we have hadith, we don't need to do istishab. But if someone has doubt about this hadith, then we have also istishab. And that is, we say, this was not known to be najis. There was no ruling of najasa fixed to this. And we assume it is still the same. So you cannot say this liquid or this water was najis before, and we assume that it is the same. So, based on these hadith and istishab, our fuqaha throughout the centuries have accepted this as a general rule, that whenever you don't know something is najis, you can assume it is tahir. There are three types of cases. Some of them are very easy, some of them, or maybe one of them, it needs more discussion. Sometimes you don't know whether it is najis or not because you don't know if najasa has reached it or not. Okay? It's tahir, but you say, maybe when I went to the washroom it became najis. Maybe when I went to the, I don't know, butchery, maybe it became najis. So, you don't know whether najis has touched it or not. This is very straightforward, that you don't need to assume it is najis. Sometimes it's more complicated. You see that there is blood, for example, but you don't know what type of blood is this. In the first scenario, you don't know even if there is anything attached to it. Here, you know there is something, but you don't know it is najis type. There is a liquid, but we don't know it's najis. There is maybe blood of human being, maybe blood of fish, maybe blood of mosquito. It's not blood of something which has, the blood circulation. This is again acceptable, and we can apply the rule of tahara. The third type is what I told you, it's only for faqih. And that is when there is something that we don't know Islamic ruling about it. For example, maybe a faqih has doubt whether wine is najis or not. Suppose if faqih has doubt that wine is haram, but is it najis or not? Because there are two issues. Hurma is hukm taklifi, means you cannot drink it. But najasa is hukm wad'i. So if a faqih says that, to the best of my understanding, after research, investigation, I could not establish that this is najis. I know it is haram, but I don't know it's najis. If supposedly this happens, then here the faqih, according to some ulama, can apply qa'idatul tahara. And some say, no, faqih cannot apply. Inshallah, we will talk about it later. So this is more complicated when you don't know the ruling of Islam about this case. In the first two types, your doubt is not because you don't know the ruling. Your doubt is because you don't know what has happened. It's a matter of factual knowledge about what has happened. Has najis touched it or not? Or is this blood of human being or blood of fish, for example? So your doubt was not about something in Islamic Sharia. Your doubt was about something external, something about factual, things. You understand the difference? The third is, no, you don't have any doubt about outside world. Your doubt is about what Islam says about this. So there are three types of doubts that we can have about tahara and najasa. Our scholars, when it comes to this last type, which is shubhiyya hukmiyya, means your doubt is about the ruling, have two opinions. In Al-Hada'iq, I don't know if you are familiar, we have a very well-known complete series on fiqh called Al-Hada'iq al-Nadhira. This is by Sheikh Yusuf al-Bahrani. But he has some tendency towards akhbarism. So he's a respected faqih, but he has tendency towards akhbari. He's not very much usuli. Anyway, in his book, he mentions the idea of Mullah Amin Astarabadi, who was also akhbari. And their idea is that he says, this is the text that, he says that we cannot apply qa'idatul tahara in the third type, in shubahat hukmiyya. He says qa'idatul tahara is not applicable when you don't know the ruling in fiqh. In other words, faqih cannot use it for giving fatwa. This is his idea. But some of ulama, or most of ulama, like Ayatollah Khou'i, Rahmatullah Alayhi, Sahibul Urwe, they say no. This is included in the hadith that we have received when Imam alayhi salam says in Muwassaqiyya Ammar, everything is tahir unless you know it is najis. So it includes also this type of shubha, these types of doubts. So ulama are divided, but most of ulama say even in shubahat hukmiyya it can be applied. But this doesn't, of course, apply to us. This is for fuqaha. Another question is, can we establish by this qa'idah that something is really tahir because we don't know it is najis or not. In order to explain this, I am sorry that I have to introduce one more terminology to you. Our ulama say ahkam are two types. Al-ahkam al-waqi'iyya, al-ahkam al-zahiriyya. Okay? Al-ahkam al-waqi'iyya are those that in knowledge of Allah, they apply to the things. They are real rulings. Okay? This is hukm waqi'i. In Allah's knowledge, this is, for example, tahir, or this is najis. This is wajib, or this is not wajib. But sometimes we are not able to establish what is the real ruling. And we have to act. So we have some guidelines for such cases that you don't know what is the real ruling, but you know what you are supposed to do. For example, when I say to you, if you had the wuzu at 10 o'clock and at 12 o'clock you have doubt whether my wuzu is broken or not, is now invalid or not, we do istishab. You can assume that your wuzu is there. Can you say you have wuzu? You cannot say I have wuzu, but you can say I practically assume I have wuzu. This is hukm zahiri. It doesn't give you guarantee that you have wuzu. Maybe you don't have wuzu, but it's okay. Allah would not, question you why you didn't make another wuzu, because you had previously knowledge about wuzu, and you can continue till you are sure that your wuzu is broken. The same is with qa'idatul tahara. Most of ulama, apart from again sahibul hada'iq, most of ulama, 90% or 99% of ulama say qa'idatul tahara does not give you hukm waqi'i. We say you don't know it is tahir or najis, you assume it is tahir, but maybe in reality this is najis. Okay? But as long as you don't know, it's okay. Do you understand? But the opposite view, which is very rare, says if you don't know it is najis, it is not najis. When you don't know it is najis, it is not najis. But we say no, sorry. Tahara and najasa belong to the things, and our knowledge is not part of it. So if I don't know or know, it doesn't change. Either it is tahir or najis in reality. Whether I know or not is not going to change the real situation. But the thing is that when I am not aware that it is najis, I am forgiven. I can assume it is tahir. It's not going to make it tahir. Therefore, if you want to be very precautious, you may do ihtiyat. Okay? But you are not going to be punished if you don't do ihtiyat. And if this ihtiyat is going to repeat and make your life difficult, even you have no right to do ihtiyat, because ihtiyat is good as long as it does not become a kind of habit that you feel that you must wash, you must wash, you must wash. It makes your life miserable. So the summary is that one of the rules that fuqaha have accepted and have operated and have also given us instruction that we can use it, but of course we use it only in instances, not in ahkam, is qa'idatul tahara. When you don't know something is najis or tahir, or something which was tahir is touched by najis or not, you can assume that it is still tahir unless it is proved. So this is very helpful rule, and by knowing this rule, you can understand many masail in Risale, in Kitab al-Tahara, in Kitab al-Salat, even in about eating and drinking. Many masail you can understand. But I repeat, this does not give you facility or permission not to ask about mas'ala. You cannot say, I don't want to know anything, then I say, I don't know it is tahir or najas, so I assume it is tahir. No. It's for people who don't know the factual information. Okay? Not that they don't know the mas'ala. If you don't know mas'ala, you have to learn the mas'ala. But if you know mas'ala, but you don't know what type of liquid is this, what has happened, I was not here, did someone put najasa in my water or not, someone put najasa on my dress or not, these type of things, doubts, we can ignore. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
So, brothers and sisters, we'll have questions. I know that there was one lady who wanted to ask a question, so please don't hesitate. If your question is regarding the lesson before, that is allowed. And there was one gentleman at the front as well. Ladies first, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
This is regarding shafaat, yeah? So I just wanted to ask you, is only people can do shafaat, or things like, for example, Quran? Can Quran do shafaat?
Yes. Yes. Quran also can do shafa'ah. As Rasulullah said, إذا التبست عليكم الفتن كقطع الليل المظلم فعليكم بالقرآن فإنه شافع مشفع. Quran does shafa'ah, and its shafa'ah is accepted. Yes, thank you for asking.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
The question is around where we discussed that our organs would also be witnesses. What if you have, in this life, decided to donate your organs? What's around that? I mean, how do you see that?
So they bear witness for what you did with them. So if, for example, when you were alive, you donated something and it's separated from your body, then they would not bear witness for what you have done after them. They would bear witness for the period that they were part of your body.
Okay. And what if you've donated your organs at the point of your death?
Yeah, because they bear witness for your life, not for after death, yeah? So because they were with you when you were alive, so they have perfect information. When we die, we are not going to be answerable for what happens in the grave, or yeah, because for the life. But if, for example, donated, or for example, someone in accident lost one eye or two eyes, of course, those two eyes would not bear witness for what he has done afterwards, but they would bear witness for what he did before, when he had them.
Thank you.
Ahsantum. Thank you.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I had a question about the doubts.
Yes.
When you say that if you're not sure about whether something is tahir or najis, I understand how it works if you're 50% sure. But how does it work if you're sort of 75% sure? Rather, like 75% sure that it is najis? Or for example, if you see, for example, blood in a place where it's unlikely to be anything other than human blood, like in a mosque or something like that, then how does it work?
even if it is 70%, 80% chance that this is najas, still you ignore it. You have to know it is najas. But when we say no, then ulama say sometimes it is adhannul mutara'akh, means it's, for example, like 99%. It's something which is ignored. Normal people say we know. Maybe if you want to look at it philosophically, you say I don't know. But people say no, we know that this has happened. You know? So if there is a realistic chance, even if it is 5%, 10%, that it is not najas, that is enough to ignore.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
On your sentence or statement, you said when fuqaha is not sure, that we know that alcohol is haram, but whether it's najis or not. Going on that point, what is the take of the ulama now? Are Hindus najis or not?
Right now, no, the common view, not all fuqaha, but the common view is those who are not Muslims and who are not kitabi, they are not tahir. Either they have to be kitabi, means Ahl Kitab, who believe in a divine book, divine prophet, or they have to be Muslim. Of course, there are people who don't even believe Kitabi are Tahir, but right now Ayatollah Sistani, Ayatollah Khamenei, they believe that Kitabi are also Tahir. But there is a view in fiqh that they believe in Tahara of all human beings. Okay? But this view has not yet become popular among Maraja. But there are some fuqaha, and now some people in Jose, when they do research, so there is such a possibility, such a ground, but till now it has not reached the level of convincing our greatest Maraja.
Okay.
About non-Kitabi.
We will have a couple of more questions, but
Yes.
I remind everyone that we keep to the topic as close as possible for today's topic. Thank you.
Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
My question is really in relation to shafa. When
No.
we expect anyone, be it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or our aimas, to be interceding for us, there is this element where it comes to how can you expect Allah to forgive you when you don't want to forgive others? Now, if we were to take into account Ziyarat Ashura, for instance, Dua al-Kama, we curse those who, made our Imam Shaheed, his family and all that. Where is, is there trying to say that there is certain elements that, yes, we cannot forgive, certain element we will hate, whatever it may be, till the last day we are here. If you could please shed some light on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's not very much about shafa'ah. It's maybe not directly about shafa'ah, but it's a good question. The understanding of lan, this needs some time, but briefly, first of all, lan is different from sab. No one should do sab, means to say bad words, rude words. Okay? That is not allowed. Lan in some cultures can be considered as sabba. So then you should not do it publicly. Okay? For example, today, people say, even lan is, like, rude at me. If you say, I say, may God curse you, you say it's like, saying bad things to me or my family. But technically, lan is a prayer to God to not treat this person with mercy. So it's opposite to asking for mercy, asking for forgiveness for someone. So when we say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that please do lan of, for example, Bani Umayyah, or Shem or Umar Sa'd, it means that we have this understanding that these are not your friends, and therefore we want to distance ourselves from them. And we do this by asking you not to send them rahmah so that they succeed. Because rahmah has many functions. One is forgiveness. One is to make you successful. One is to make you, for example, receive lots of rizq, lots of tawfiq. So it's more, in my understanding, a matter of declaring our disassociation with these people, and declaring that we know that these people are not the people that are going to be treated with maximum mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think this means that if there is a chance to be forgiven, don't forgive them. That, oh Allah, I am not going to be happy if you forgive them. I don't think this is what an obedient servant would say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say, oh Allah, please forgive whoever you can forgive. But it's a matter of declaring our disassociation and asking Allah not to send them that type of mercy which would make them successful, which make them, attract people, which would make them, continue. Because this is also rahmah. I have a series on rahmah online, and it's published, Understand God's Mercy. And I have explained that how, according to Quran, rahmah is actually bringing everything good is through rahmah. It's not just maghfirah. One type of rahmah is forgiving. There are lots of rahmah. So if you don't want Yazid and his mindset and his party to succeed, what can you do? You have to ask Allah to deprive his support for them. This is la'an. Yeah.
This will be the last question. Last question. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
In terms of nagasa,
Yes.
so when you have doubt that something is najis, and there's opportunity to investigate, are you expected to investigate? So
No.
to ask questions and to settle your doubt.
Yeah. If you have realistic doubt, you don't need to investigate. Okay? Because sometimes I pretend that I don't know. But if I really don't know, you don't need to investigate whether it is najis or not. For example, you come here, there is a cup of water. You don't need to ask everyone, have you seen najis come into it? Have you seen? You don't need to inquire. So fast or investigation here is not needed. Unless it's a matter of fast about mas'ala. That's another issue. You have to ask people about the mas'ala, about the theory. But about practicality, you don't need to investigate. For example, you see on the ingredients list, there is something which can be najis, can be not najis. You don't need to phone them and make sure that this is najis or not najis. As long as there is a chance, you can say, inshallah, it's tahir. If you want to do ihtiyat, it's good. But It's not wajib, and you cannot impose it on other people, or you cannot, make life difficult for yourself. But if you want to do ihtiyat, of course, it's very good to do ihtiyat.
Okay, brothers and sisters, can we have a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad? Sorry for finishing a bit later. Next time we will be starting exactly on time as well.
Inshallah.
Can I just say that those who have not registered, there are very few of you now, please just tick your names off. If you have not registered online, that is a wajib rule, that you have to do it online. In front of our teacher, we are saying this. You must do that. If anyone came and didn't do it, please do it tonight.
And if they have doubt,
we have many people with beard here who are shahid. Okay. So absolutely, please do that. It's a very cheap price as well. What I wanted to also say is that those who have not picked up their books, this is the time to pick up the book. Those who don't have the book, don't take a second copy. New students only. And you can see there at Brother Ashik, he's sitting there. And also there's a pad as well, notepad, only for new students. New students, yeah? These are, yeah, otherwise it's a khasbi, yeah? Okay. All right, for every word you write, inshallah. No, but seriously, so do pick that up. One little thing, you can see all these cups, okay? I think we can become amazingly good at being a bit environment friendly, green thinking. Bring your own cups with you, and we will slowly decrease the number of disposable cups. Thank you. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Ahsantum. Ahsantum, thank you.